So, are we just living in reality or are we actively building it? Welcome to This Explainer. Today we're diving deep into Chapter 4 of Marco Dane's manuscript, Spirit Matters, a chapter aptly titled Creators. And we are going to strictly focus our lens on a profound theme that really pulses throughout this specific section of Dane's work. We'll be exploring our often untapped potential as the actual, literal co-creators of our own reality. This isn't just about the power of positive thinking. Dane is laying out the structural, vibrational architecture of existence itself and our place right at the drafting table. Let's kick things off by asking the ultimate question that Dane poses right there in the text. What do we really wonder about? When you strip away the daily grind, the noise, the endless tasks of modern life, what is it that keeps us staring up at the stars at night? Well, we wonder about the true nature of our existence. We question our connection to the universe, the overarching purpose of our lives, and of course, the hidden potential lying dormant within us. Dane argues in Chapter 4 that this wondering isn't just idle daydreaming. Actually, it's the spark of our inner creator trying to wake up and remember its true function. Section 1. The distant inner universe. Often, there's this profound feeling of separation between our physical, everyday selves and that sense of spiritual fulfillment we're all searching for. But Dane points out that the journey to our spiritual fulfillment appears incredibly distant, almost like looking out into the vast, unending expanse of the nearest universe. But here's the profound twist. Just as outer space holds hidden worlds within worlds, our own inner universe contains all the mysteries and answers we've been yearning to find. It feels light years away, but actually, scratch that. It's right in front of us, resting quietly within our own consciousness. Think of this interconnectedness kind of like the rings of an atom. From the outside, the electron rings appear entirely separate, orbiting at a distance, right? But when you travel inward and reach the core, there's absolutely no separation, only a deep fundamental interconnectedness with all things. According to Dane, it's really just our surface-level thought processes that create this persistent illusion of separation. Once you manage to reach that inner core, you begin to see the architecture of the world with the eyes of the divine. Moving on to Section 2, Architecture of Our Reality. So, how does this inner connection translate to the world we interact with every single day? The crucial point in Chapter 4 is that the physical world around us just isn't as rigid and unyielding as we think. Reality is actually a fabrication, one that we shape from the depths of our own minds and manifest into the physical plane. Everything within this creation resonates at specific vibrational frequencies. Think of it like sound waves. Just because you can't see them doesn't mean they aren't vibrating, bouncing, and shaping the environment around you. Even objects that appear completely solid are, in essence, semi-physical entities. They possess inherent vibrations that can be harnessed, molded, and transformed. We aren't just existing in reality, we are literally architecting it. Chapter 4 reveals that our minds aren't just simple containers for fleeting random thoughts. Instead, they serve as the cosmic weavers of a grand interconnected web. Through our minds, we perceive and interpret the external world, but they also act as the primary catalyst. They use the vibrational energy of our focused thoughts to influence and weave the multidimensional tapestry of existence. We are essentially processing reality and projecting it simultaneously. How wild is that? Which brings us to Section 3, the power of co-creation. To understand exactly how we architect our experiences, Chapter 4 introduces this fascinating boomerang effect. It all starts with our mental seeds, our thoughts, which naturally lead to actions, heavily fueled by the intensity of our feelings. Imagine your energetic output like a radio transmitter. You're constantly broadcasting these frequencies outward. Dane notes that as we launch our thoughts and feelings out into the world, we create ripple effects. Regardless of how long it takes, or whatever flight path they take across dimensions, they always return to us. They create our physical reality, constantly teaching us about the purity and the intention of our own energetic output. This is a deeply empowering realization. We're not just the weavers sitting at the cosmic loom, we're the threads themselves. We are a fundamental part of the very fabric we're trying to shape. By consciously aligning our frequencies, our thoughts, actions, and feelings with love and light, we have the incredible power to consciously co-create a reality that reflects our highest aspirations. We shift from being passive observers who just let reality happen to us into active, responsible agents of positive change across all realms. It's a real game changer. Section 4. The Veil of Amnesia. Now you might be wondering, if we possess all this immense cosmic power as co-creators, why do we struggle so much? Why is our mundane life often filled with anxiety, conflict, and confusion? Well, Dane answers this with the concept of the veil of amnesia. When we enter this dense physical reality, we experience what he calls the intergalactic shock of duality. We suffer from a sort of cosmic forgetfulness. We get caught up in the transient pleasures and the sheer monotony of a physical lucid dream. The density of this world makes us forget our vast spiritual origins, and we entirely forget the fact that we are the ones actually dreaming the dream. There's a stark contrast we navigate every single day. On one side, the lucid dream of physical reality lowers our thought vibrations. We become heavily bound by physical pleasures and self-created physical thought forms. We get stuck in the mud, essentially. But on the other side, Dane explains that by actively raising our thought vibrations, we pull closer to our higher selves. This elevation acts like a chemical catalyst, transforming our very structural DNA into a more crystalline nature. Something Dane aligns directly with the concept of a true elevated spiritual essence. Because of this amnesia, Chapter 4 warns that we fall into very distinct behavioral traps. We feel incredibly limited because we view ourselves as completely separate, isolated souls. We get heavily distracted by the sheer chaos and inconsistency of life on Earth. And most tellingly, when things go wrong, we frantically search for external reasons to blame. We look outside ourselves, completely forgetting our inherent power as light beings. We forget that the universe and our total control over our experience of it resides entirely within us. Finally, Section 5, Awakening Your True Essence. So how do we finally pierce this veil and wake up to our authentic identity as conscious creators? Dane suggests a massive shift in perspective is required. We have to stop just obsessively analyzing our fleeting day-to-day thoughts. If you dive into your thoughts alone, you just hit a vast expanse of transient, temporary mental constructs. Instead, we have to expand our awareness. We need to look around the outside of our minds and witness the interconnected interplay of the multiverse. It's about remembering yourself as a crucial part of the grand design, reclaiming your essence far beyond just the physical vessel you happen to inhabit. And that leads to the ultimate realization from the Creator's chapter. We must realize that creation isn't just some separate, perfect entity residing quietly inside of us waiting to be accessed. No, creation absolutely is you. You are the essence of all that exists. You're the driving force behind every experience you have. Once you accept that you and creation are one and the exact same, you unlock the ability to intentionally manifest matter from your own thoughts and intentions. You step fully and irrevocably into your role as a creator. As we wrap up this explainer on Chapter 4 of Spirit Matters, consider this. Knowing that your thoughts, feelings, and actions are the very building blocks of the world around you, how will you shape your reality today? Take a moment to look inward. Remember the immense power of your unique vibrational energy and consider how you're going to use it to transform not just your own life, but the interconnected world around you.